Hello, Aquarius. Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome to my YouTube channel and also my Facebook page if you've come across this video on Facebook. So you will have heard the, just a quick explanation. I feel like some of you may be wondering, those ones that are not in New Zealand. The kia ora koutou katoa is Māori. Is a Māori greeting. Basically it's just like hello and welcome, hello to all, greetings to all basically. And so yeah, that's where that comes from. So anyway, I am up to you now, Aquarius, so welcome, and a huge amazing thank you to you for the likes, shares, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, I take this opportunity to invite you to do that now or at the end of the video. And also thank you for the comments and as well. And I know you may not see many on there on the actual stream, but I do encourage leaving a comment. It doesn't have to be a big long story. It's just like saying hi or and if it resonated or not, and that's it really. And or just liking or the thumbs up or something like that. So the other thing is I just want to mention too is connecting into with my Facebook page, because there's going to be changes where I'm just going to be putting these videos on here now and other content on my Facebook page. So and if you're wanting to catch some lives that I'm going to be doing, that's going to be starting up next week actually, some weekly lives, and there could be chats about a different subject that may have come up that seems to be quite popular with people, and some channeling and some information about what that could be about, and messages as well from my the multi-dimensional and intergalactic energies that I'm working with. But also it could be the angels or my guides and our guides as well. So anyway, there's some changes that are coming up with that as well. Let me see. So I do encourage linking with both, so then you can catch up with what I'm going to be doing in the future, as well as and where I'm going to be maybe in the country as I travel around more so next year, doing different expos and workshops as well. So anyway, let me see, where am I going? Okay, so this is just a reminder that these the messages that come through here are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. If they do, wonderful. If they don't, then don't totally throw it out. Just maybe park it up, put it to the side, because it may resonate with you more in the next day, week, or month in the future, because it just may be more future a future reading for you. And also check out what your other signs are saying. So this is for Aquarius, and Aquarius may be in your chart, it may be in the sun, moon, rising, and or Venus sign. So if you don't know what your other signs are, then check out in the description box below. There is a link to a website that has a free calculator on it, and it will work it out for you. The other thing I want to mention or say is that there is that I am available to take readings or bookings. Next week I have some spaces, and before Christmas anyway, there are some spaces that are available, and anyway, we can work something out. So I do readings and healings, whether it's distance or in person, and it could be the healings could be like energy shifting, clearing or cleansing of personal body, your energy, that I mean by that, and or property, property, house, property is that in that sense, and or objects and things like that. And also, I do prefer to work in person, but sometimes that's not always doable. So, and it works really, really well distance as well. So anyway, give me a call, or give me a call. Well, yeah, if you could do, if you want, on Facebook. So my contact and to connect with me, my contact details are in the description box below, and you can get a hold of me through there. Anyway, cool. So there's a bit of a so I have burnt with today. It's interesting with you and another sign that I do, but today it's not so much. They're wanting to do burning a little bit of sage just to clear the way. Okay, So something's up in the air, and I hear, like, I have shuffled all these cards that I'm using today, by the way. So this is the Juliet Sherman Burke deck that I often use, and this is a new deck, the Starman Tarot, and this one is the Energy Oracle card deck. Okay, so anyway, let me see. So I started as I was preparing to shuffling this deck here. This card fell out, caring connections. Okay, so there may be something to do with you in a relationship, that you're in at the moment, and or something is shifting in there. There's a new beginning where maybe something is feeling a little bit more grounded, because it's number 14 in the deck, and number 14, one for me, is about being one with all, and in that sense, and having that sense of everything, that you are, like, something is moving or shifting, and you're in this place of, like, you're at one, or at peace with one and all, with everything, basically, one with all. And or there's a sense of being more one with oneself, in that sense, because, there's maybe something you've figured out, and it's taking you to that place, and it's like in a different way of being or thinking, there's something that you may have been processing or working through, and or just observing, and observing is working through it, is, in that sense, but there's more of a sense of oneness with self, and where you with making and where you're going in the near future, or like even something that you're in right in now. But this is this is a beautiful, isn't that beautiful? Caring connections. And 4 for me is about some sort of grounding, but it's about security and direction. So whether you're going to be going north, east, west, or south, whatever that is, it's kind of, there's something to do with that direction. So maybe you've changed our direction, or you're looking for a new direction. Okay, whether it's in a relationship, like in a marriage, or you're moving into one, and that may be your change of direction, because it's like, and it may be a long time coming for some of you, where you've had been in a relationship that is caring and that connection. So there could be a new, within a relationship that you're already in now, a new sense of looking at, within your relationship that it is more caring. It may be you're moving out of a relationship that isn't as caring, but it's about you caring for yourself. So there's a sense of, there's a more of a caring relationship with yourself now. It's like you're honoring yourself in that sense. And so there's a few ways of looking at this that I'm picking up on here for you. There's also, in that sense, so there's that foundation, but it's like, the 4s are about also a foundation. So it could be that you, with this new beginning, that it's like, okay, you see how you are going to be able to create one, or you're moving, it's just like you're taking another step into moving into creating a more solid, firm foundation of, security and within yourself. And it's across the board. It could be like with money, with love, and work, career, and that sort of thing. It's starting to maybe, you're looking at bringing that all together, okay, for you in your life. So I feel like there's a couple of cards actually, 1 or 2 more cards that are coming out here. Okay, there's actually 3. So these 3 come out together. So there's some sense of victory with this card, okay? Number 28 in the deck, okay? 2 is about relationships, and 8 is about infinity. So is infinity, and knowing that we ourselves as being that infinite being, okay? And when we're in that space, it's like we can create or do, understand things. It's like getting to that space. So you may be in a space of that with whatever is going on without, and it's like you have more of a knowing that actually, it stops with me and it starts with me. It moves with me in the way that I need it to move. And of course, that's with love, peace, harmony, joy, okay? So I definitely have the Zion energy with me, because that's what they always bang on about, which is what I always bang on about. So it's like, okay, when they come forward, it's like, okay, no wonder, which is really cool. So just knowing that's always been there, but it's just something that maybe obviously some of you you've held off, and you're bringing that side of you out again, or more, okay? Okay, so then we have the angel of strength. Okay, that's 5 and 0. So 5 is about energy and vibration, and realizing and knowing that everything is energy and vibration. So if we're putting out an energy, if we, that is, we're going to feel that energy, which means, if we're in a more, more consciously aware and mindful of what we're doing, where we're going, how we're speaking, how we're talking. And we kind of like, I'm not, in a good space, and we go there, and it's like we can pull ourselves back, okay? So it's kind of like, it's not that we're not meant to go there, and because when we're processing, some things that are sad do come up. And we will go there to, to remember it, to experience it, briefly, again, in that sense, but not forever, not for long. It's really just like, sometimes that will come up, in my experience anyway, and how I see it. It comes up to keep us in check. And there may be something going on. We might have gone a little bit, we may be going off there, and there's something coming that's actually keeping us in check of what was happening back then, to bring us back into our space again, okay? It's there for a reason, but it's not there for us to like dwell in, okay, forever. And some would say if at all, but for, it's like, but it's just really just that, basically I see it as like sometimes it keeps us in check with our movement and our thoughts and our feelings, and brings us back into balance again, because sometimes we can, something might happen, and we might go into that space, but it's like there may be something that we may have gone into the ego with, and it's kind of like, whoa, bringing us back in, or checking us back, depending on where that ego is and out of balance for you, okay? So then, but it's energy, but it's like manifesting things when we're in that, when we're in a high vibrational way of being, thinking, doing, we're more likely to see things as opportunities rather than them as not being, or, and maybe not just shutting the door on it, and at least you'll be able to like move in and explore it. And it may not necessarily be for you, maybe, it may be for someone else, but if there's an opportunity, or there's something, opportunity to meet different people or new people, opportunity to learn new things, and you maybe not like it has to be a degree or anything, but it may be something, a new tool or a workshop that you can bring that you don't fully understand, and Spirit may have drawn you there, or you may be inclined to go there, and you may feel like there maybe it's like 3, like Reiki 1, 2, and 3, and then you can do the master it, or in that cycle, whatever it is. And so, for me, I did Reiki, but I only felt like I needed to do Reiki 1 for me, and I moved on, that's what I needed for me. Some people go and do 2, and then they go and become a master at it. So it's really, that's just an example of, not saying that is you, but, and it may be, some short courses or something like that to help you move through whatever it is that you're moving through, or help you, enhance your knowledge. It may be reading a book of some sort, or watching a video or a couple of videos, and researching, how others do it, or maybe learning about YouTube. It could be something like that. So it's not necessarily like a 3-year study degree course or anything like that, but it's just to help, it's just like something about growth and expansion. And it may be like you're meeting people, like going to different things like barbecues and a meeting over here, or a community outreach or something like that, or going to the market. Somebody might invite you to go somewhere, then about going, it's stepping out. It's like we're open to things happening and going and doing things, okay, just because we can, in that sense. So there's a, so the angel of strength has come through to help you, to help remind you of that. So the 0 is about, there's the God force energy, but there's like a beginning, it's like going back to the beginning of a new cycle. So it's not actually going back, it's going to the beginning of a new cycle, okay, of whatever it is, maybe that you've already working on now, but it's like this, you've reached so far with that part of understanding of it. So there's maybe a deeper understanding, or a higher vibrational understanding, or whatever it is that, you move into next to understand something else with whatever it is that's going on with you. So it could be like an extension of a course that you're doing, or a degree that you're doing, or a job that you're doing, or a business that you're doing, or whatever, or a relationship that you're, doing, that you're in, or something like that. So there, oh, okay, door to have personal healing and happiness, number 34. So there you go. 3 is there's some sort of balance that's formed from all of that and moving into this door of happiness. So in the 4, and once again is something grounding in that foundation, which kind of goes back to that one and moving across. It's like there's a story just in that. Aren't they amazing? These a way the cards work or the angels work. So this is not actually, I stuck this cloth there so it would not slip, but it's kind of like, oh, now it's going to slip anyway. But I will stop doing around with it. I want them to sit there so it kind of vibrates out. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go to the tarot right now. So I've done a little bit of talking there with just those 4. So yeah, okay, so there's the Chariot. So there may be a little bit, and okay, typically the theme around this is about struggle and tension. So you may be struggling with an idea or a thought or a pathway, basically which way am I going to go? So I feel like with this one, it's like, you know, there's maybe no clear direction at the moment. So why not just keep on this path that you're going on until you do get some sort of clear direction? So because there's a black horse and a white horse in there and they're going in opposite directions. And so that's where that struggle and that tension comes from, or that you know, or not knowing which way to go, is because there maybe 2 opportunities have opened up, but until you and it's like or you know, ideas or thoughts, it's which way do I go with, you know, which one do I go with? So for some reason, and for some of you I'm hearing, and it may, you know, about like choosing one and doing that. So there's, for a lot of you, I feel like this is maybe just going to carry on doing what you're doing, and taking these ideas or these thoughts or what's going on into account, but it's maybe that there's maybe a little bit more, and maybe an expansion of something, or in, you know, of, you know, or linking to whatever it is that you're doing. And maybe like you have a part-time job and then a part-time business, you know, or maybe you have the full-time job and a part-time business until you build up to make it go into a part-time. It could be something like that, just saying, but there's some sort of sense of direction. It could be within a relationship, a marriage. Which way do I go? And I'm just hearing for some of you, it's like not super rushing it, but just, you know, taking a little bit of time to think that through, but to tune into it, and, you know, and honoring yourself and doing a little bit of healing on the way. It may be for some of you that there may be a separation in that time while you're thinking about it, because I'm just seeing this for some of you, it may be, you know, a separation in some way, but there's still like a togetherness, a bond, until you figure out what is going on for both of you. Okay, with this one, there's the world. So this is like looking at the world as being, you know, out there to discover, for whatever the story is about for you. And I just feel the world is there because it talks about, you know, completion, achievement, attainment of some kind, basically. So it's maybe you've come full circle with something, and it's time to go. So that's what helped make your mind up. But it's like, and you maybe not allowing yourself to let go of it. So because this talks about, you know, something, a completion, because this is at the end of the major arcana deck, you know, and, you know, so there's some sort of cycle you've gone through, you've taken a leap of faith and you've done the processing to whatever it is that you're working with, and now that's the world. So, which is interesting. So this, with this Chariot, this becomes a decision that's, you know, needing to be made again, or which path are you going to choose? Okay, but just know that, you know, because the world is there, the world is, you know, there's so much in the world that you can do and achieve, and you're achieving something, or you've achieved something. Wow. And now it's like, okay, where to now? Well, you know what? Pick something and do something. It's like, and then you can make another choice, if you need to. We have free will, and we have the gift and the ability of choice. At the end of the day, there we go. And then we have this amazing card, the 10 of Pentacles, the passing of positive traditions. Beautiful. I feel like this is a really beautiful card, not to end on, but with this deck, yes. So there's something to, you know, coming together where, you know, there's that groundedness there. So this is about you grounding yourself, Aquarius. So, and there's something is coming to fruition or has come to fruition for some of you. It's like you're starting, maybe some of you are starting to see this now with all this processing that you've been doing in the past. It's like, it's come, you know, they're at this place where, okay, everything's sorted out here, the family's all good, you know, that's that. And it's like, where's the next step? Because I feel like this is like you're at that next step. And it's like turning it around and not looking at it as a struggle or any tension at all. Okay, it's just like looking at the world and like, okay, where to now? And looking at your family, at your achievements, and basically with your family, and how you've grown it, and how happy you are, and how abundant you are, how prosperous you are. And it's come to that point, and it's now just moving into a new cycle. Amazing, beautiful. Judgment, wow. Judgment is about freedom. It's about resurrection and resolution. So there's something is like you've set yourself free. You're free from something, whatever that is. It's like the world really is your oyster. There's the pearl in the oyster, which is the world. It's like it's abundant and it's there for your taking. And maybe you're not really feeling that right now, but it may be, there is something. You may be hitting retirement, or your children may be moving out of home, or it may be the end of a cycle within a marriage, and you may be a widow or a widower, and it's maybe that's where some of that is coming from. But there is, there's a cycle going on there. And I'm just hearing in the background, there may be some of you who are not really well, who are really ill. There may be someone here that's watching this now who may be really ill, and just, and setting things up and realizing actually that everything is set up, for, it may be you, whoever this is that, can take this, you may have a terminal illness, but, and that things are set up for when you with this resurrection, when there's that freedom again, of that freedom going into that freedom space, into this, resurrection and resolution stage, that, you've set things up for when you go, and everyone's going to be all right. So it's kind of, and whether you are that person in a terminal stage or not, it's like, there's the same thing. It's knowing that you've done all this hard work, and this clever work, this effort that in your lifetime, but it's come to fruition, and everything you've sorted it out. Everything is fine, and it's taking that next step, whatever that next step is for you. So for some of you, this is definitely about a project that you're working on now, or something within yourself. But also, when we're working on ourselves, there's something else within our business, within our marriage, within, our relationships in some way or form, within our career, our business, in our family, whatever that is. There's always something moving. There's moving and evolving, if we choose to look at it as evolving or building. With the choices that we make. So, oh wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway, we have the Ace of Swords, and so that there's something where the Ace of Swords there is like there's something being like you've cut something, a way of thinking or thinking about things off your mind, out of your mind. It's like there's some sort of movement in there. With the Ace of Swords, it's like because there's a different way of thinking about things. And how you do things and communicate with people as well, or communicate or in the way that you communicate. So it may be that you're stepping out this, whatever this, you're stepping out and you're doing something brand new for yourself. It may be that you start talking to, and negotiating with people, or maybe that you're doing something like this. It may be that you're doing workshops and or standing at public speaking and something like that, or maybe that you are, but it's kind of. But I'm just hearing this is more about, about shifting the way that you're thinking on quite a big level. So like limiting belief patterns of some sort, or maybe whatever it is, it may be one or two, that is like shifted the way that you're thinking or doing things, and how you do it. But a lot of it is, I'm hearing like this communication as well with, because that's what the Swords is about as well. But it's in that way, it's like now it's like taking those actions and using the right words and things like that, to best, to better yourself or for the greater good of one and all. But there's been some thought patterns that have been like, and it's basically the old order changes in the way that you're thinking. Maybe not for everything, but for whatever is specifically going on around you, definitely. So which takes you into this place of, because I feel like this is you, because you're the air sign, obviously the Ace of Swords is you. And then moving into, that loss of wealth or faith with the Five of Pentacles. So there may be like that belief system, it may be around money, or finances in some way or form, because the Pentacles has come up. So it may be how, in the relationship that you have with money. And it's like, sometimes we can have a lot, and sometimes it may be just flowing, and other times it may be just like what the hell is happening. And then it may start picking up again as things, as we move around and we process things and we shift things, we adapt to this, that, or one thing or another, depending on what is happening. But there's definitely some sort of grounding in that way by the feel of it. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a couple of cards out of the Starman Tarot deck here. So, and you may be, you may have been experiencing that loss of wealth or faith, or just worrying about it. So don't worry about it, because we're going to, like the 5 says, we're going to end up like breeding that, or bringing that in. Gosh, there's a whole lot of cards going to come out. So, but I'm definitely taking this, the moon one. Don't want all those. Those are the ones that fell on the floor. I'll keep the ones that are on the table. So, the moon one here, that's the one that fell out. So the moon, very mysterious energy, but there's shifting and there's highs and lows. The ebbs and the flows with the moon cycle is very interesting. But the moon talks about, I perceive the truth through the inner veil and its reflection, which is kind of where you've been going through. It's like reflecting, within and allowing it. So that's what the moon does, is bring out all this, helps us to flow through energy. And as you will know, when different cycles, and depending on what planets are aligning up with it, there is something, that it brings out in us to discover about ourselves, so we can, get rid of, and, get rid of, things that serve us no purpose for our highest good, basically. But it's also very, she brings through that healing in that way, but it makes us, with the cycles to, to find the truth within us, the true us, or the truth, and all sorts of other things as well, and how we perceive things, basically. So that's kind of where they're coming from with that one. So she comes through with that beautiful energy. Okay, and it's kind of, it can be a bit rough sometimes, but it can be a bit gentle as well. So they're going with that. But then the alien comes out, and the alien, is the hermit in other decks. So it's like I go within and call on spirit to illuminate the path. And often we do need to go in there a little bit, but I feel like what they're talking about, that you have gone within. So it's about bringing in, I feel like he's talking about, yes, you may need to, some of you may be required for you to go in to, a little bit deeper. And the moon cycle the moon, and for energy for some of you, is maybe bringing that through. But others of you, I feel like there's like, you may have gone in a bit, deep, and, figured that out. Now it's about like bringing it out and going into that path. What have you learned from that? Bringing out that learning and putting it into action as well. So it's, and connecting with your higher self or your inner self, and basically the path for some of you has been illuminated through going with it, and now it's about taking action, basically, long story short. Okay, So anyway, I'm going to leave that there with you now, Aquarius. I hope that resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's fine. You know, check out one of your other signs. And if it kind of does, parts of it does, and, you know, check out some of your other signs. Or maybe just sit, you know, don't overthink it, but just ponder it and see what unfolds, okay? Anyway, from my lovely, amazing spiritual team and the multidimensional and intergalactic energies that have been working with us today and working with me to bring these messages across, and also the amazing sign of Aquarius, we leave you with lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, and adventure. Okay? Also prosperity and abundance. Okay, bye for now. See you next week.